friends, it's Ellen here at Yarn Doc on a very dark, dismal day in Germany. It's foggy and rainy, and so I'm hoping you can see me and all the yarn all right. Um, I can see that my glasses are really reflective today, so maybe you can't see my eyeballs. Hi, I'm here. But, and I'm sorry, I have been saying that it's allergies to myself all week, but I'm starting to think that maybe some little bug has crawled in and I sound kind of froggy. I feel okay, the throat's a little scratchy, so hopefully that won't be too bad as we talk about everything that happened this week and all the projects. I will tell you there's a lot of acquisitions this week, just sheer coincidences and whatnot. But that means there's fun stuff to look at. So hopefully the lighting is good enough for that. I can't do anything about the weather. So I do have a finished object, and this is one of the original series of whips that I was working on. You can see on the corner there, that's the sweater, the glow-in-the-dark sweater. It has been frogged, it has been caked. I already have a few little ideas sticking around in my mind about what I might do with that yarn now that it is pulled out of the sweater. I think that was the right decision. It basically needed to be frogged back quite a bit anyway, and it was getting very heavy. It is cotton, it is thick cotton, and it's certainly not anything that I would have used for a garment if it wasn't glow in the dark. So I have some little ideas percolating in the back of my mind, and when I get through this massive list of projects, that will come back. But so that one was frogged, so I can check that one off. I have lost count of where I am with whips. When I get back from vacation, I will get that all organized again and start the countdown, trying to get down to 3 or 4, but right now it feels like 50 million. But one is done, and it is this guy. I'll show you a little clip of it mostly finished on my bed so that you can see the size, and I talk a little bit about the issues, and then I did put a border on it. So take a look at that and come back to me. Friends, this is the blanket for the teenage girl. I changed the design a bit because, as you can see, it is bed-sized already. And with the original design, I was going to have, well, let's see if we can get my hands in it. This 4-color section another 3 times, which would just be way too big for having on a bed. This yarn is driving me crazy. I am looking forward to this project ending, not because the yarn is hard to work with. I actually find it very easy to work with and very easy to see my stitches, even though I've done half doubles into the space and not actually into the stitch, just because it gives you a tighter, supposedly, gives you a tighter stitch definition with it. I'm moving you all around, I'm sorry. But I want to show you some things. To try to avoid that snaking that can happen with velvet yarn, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. When I review this yarn, I'm going to do a washer dryer test and we'll see what happens. But I don't hate weaving in ends. I do them as I go, and I double lock them and I reverse ways, and I think I'm pretty
pretty skilled at weaving in ends. And these were all totally hidden, totally hidden. And they're like everywhere. This is driving me crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I keep weaving them in. They keep popping out. And it's just because it is such a smooth and silky velvet that it's just going to come out. I don't think this is going to be... Let's put it this way. My grandkids are not going to inherit this blanket. And it's just not... It's not going to happen. Just not going to happen. So I decided I'd change the pattern a little bit and sort of have it, okay, I've got sort of a top start and then this section, which I initially thought was going to be the middle. I don't know why, because I just worked way too far along before I decided to do a middle. But then it transitions and it goes into a regular pattern down. I think the proportions of that is fine. And you can tell I'm done with the project because I was like, I don't think it needs a border. I don't think it needs one. It looks fine. It looks fine. The edging's okay. And both my husband and my mother were like, yeah, I think you should put a border on it. Like, oh, okay. Indulge you, I'm done with the project. But I guess I'll put a border on it now in the variegated and then cross it off the list. Wrap it up for Christmas. But I really am ready to wrap it up. This is driving me crazy. I'm so sick of looking at these ends that I have woven in time and time again, only to see them pop out. And when I cut them, they just pop out further along. Anyway, it's velvet yarn. It's lovely velvet yarn, but it's velvet yarn. But it's what she wanted, and she's going to love it for what I think will be a very short amount of time because I just don't think it's going to hold up. But yeah, okay, that's the blanket. Hopefully you will soon see it completely finished.
So yeah, you can tell I'm not totally in love with this project, mostly because I'm definitely not in love with this yarn. But what I did decide that instead of that part being the middle, I would do it more like a top heavy design. And I think it looks nice. I think it does. And I think the proportions hit it just right. I did just do a very simple single crochet, 3 rows of single crochet border in the variegated to sort of tie it all together, neaten it all up. And I think that works on this blanket. You can sort of see the edging. It's nice and cozy on this. It's kind of miserable out. It's nice and cozy on this kind of miserable weather day today. But that I do like about this yarn. It is so soft. I mean, it is just, so it does make for a really nice blanket. I'm just not sure how long it's going to last her. But this is youngest daughter's Christmas present in our tradition of blankets a year or two before they launch. So that one is completed. I can wrap it and call it a day. It's really cozy. I think I can keep it on. I'm liking filming this is making me like it more than I did. I am still frustrated. When I put the border on, I cut all those little sticky outy ends off. And as I pulled it out of the bag I had it in to just sort of keep it protected to show you, I saw some more and I'm just like, it's gonna drive me crazy. So maybe she'll keep it in her room and I won't see them starting to come worming their way out all the time. But this is really the only thing that is finished this week. Though I do have a couple, no, I'm gonna keep it on. It's nice. I do have a couple of almost finished items. Now this next one would be finished, except I got the yarn sort of at, as I was putting the kids to bed last night. I'd run out of yarn on my Hexicardi that I want to have for Volfest. But it's most of the way done. I wanted it cropped because I'm going to wear it over a maxi dress, a denim maxi dress. And then I have little denim slip-ons with sort of brown leather detailing. And I thought it's gonna be really cute. So I do want it to be long sleeves. It is the end of October in northeastern Germany. So I'm expecting it to be kind of cold. And the dress doesn't have any sleeves. So I need sleeves on the cardigan. And I did decide that I will go around and then back and around and back so that the entire length of the sleeve is open, just like the top of this is. And then I can seam it sort of all the way across. Does that make sense? So that it looks just like one piece. And if I decide to do some kind of, I haven't really decided how to close it. On the back, I just did the continuous granny close. I don't know if you can see. No, you can only tell where it is because of the switch in the pattern. And I may do that across the top, but I also might do some sort of stitch detail so that it, I don't know, gives just a little bit of extra detail. Though it is, it's not a pattern, but the yarn itself with the variegation on it, it's pretty busy. So I don't know if any kind of fancy stitch detail would even show. It may be that simplicity is best with the busy pattern. I have talked, I kind of self-drafted this pattern, but I mean, a Hexicardi is kind of a Hexicardi. There are only so many ways to do it. But I tried to do it so that it looked like, so it looks seamless. It didn't look like I was adding length and that to it. And because of the cropped length of it, I was able to do that. I can, I have a cardigan on, but I slip it over and you can see, I don't know. It's only held together up here by stitch markers at the moment. But, and I'm still, okay, I gotta put the blanket down. And don't lose the, I'm kind of a mess here, folks. A little bit messy today. So I am thinking of putting a zipper on it so that I can close it. And if I stand up, so it comes sort of to my natural waist there. So it's not that cropped. And then if I put a zipper in it, it's hard to, so it would be like that. I haven't decided about the zipper yet or not. I don't have one, so I would need to get something. And then the sleeves will come out, seam it up. So maybe I'll get it done before I go and not have to take it, oh, cardigan on cardigan on. And then not have to take it on the trip. I can take other stuff. And then I know this is done and, oops, stitch markers getting caught. Anyway, So I just started with the basic hexie, and when I felt my sleeves were wide enough, because I didn't want those big drapey sleeves, I just kind of wanted the sleeve to fit my arm. I don't know, I just prefer a more fitted sleeve. And I'm not a big fan of ribbing around my wrists. So I didn't want to put a cuff on the end of the sleeve in order to sort of pull it in and get that balloon effect. So I didn't want a great big sleeve. So when I stopped that, I pinned, these are actually where what the stitch markers are from. So that's where I stopped hexieing. And then I just went down, along, around, and up till I got to the width that I needed. And then I left it at that length and joined them together. And now I just have to lengthen out the sleeves. And the yarn came last night. So if I get all my work done like a good girl and get the kids to bed at a decent hour, I can sit and work on my sleeves and maybe finish those up tonight. Hopefully, the other project that's almost finished is my Cronit scarf. But knitting friends, I was thinking I was doing moss stitch. But I'm pretty sure we call this 1x1 rib. Did I get it right? Is that right? Somehow my attempt to do moss stitch lended itself to ribbing. But I thought, okay, learning to do ribbing is a good technique. So instead of doing 3 moss stitch squares, I'm doing 3 rib squares. But I did figure out that if they were ribbed, then I needed more stitches on my needle than my stockinette squares. They don't look great right now. I promise I will make them look like they belong together. But what I'm doing here is I did 3 stockinette squares, 3 garter stitch squares, 3 traditional crocheted granny squares, and I will do 3 ribbed squares. And maybe I will make a second, third, fourth, fifth attempt at learning the moss stitch and add 3 moss stitch squares. But basically I'm going to treat it like a traditional granny square scarf and crochet them all together, but mixing the 2 fiber arts because I thought that was reflective of my journey. So I thought that would be kind of fun, marrying the granny square tradition of crochet with knitting, but 1x1 rib, is that right? This is the second of those. This is my pile of squares here that I'm reaching for. So I have the first one done. So I have been doing 20 stitches on each square, and I found for the ribbing I had to go up to 26. And so yeah, I've got my crochet ones. I have 1 ribbing, 1.5 ribbing out of 3 done. I have my 3 garters and yeah, my 3 stockinette. And next week for Whipping It Up Wednesday, I have a special sort of knit edition where really, if you know anything about knitting, I would really, really appreciate it if you would tune in and provide some feedback. I do a lot of knitting for you in that video, or in front of you, I guess. And I would like your feedback as to my technique. Am I doing it right? There's been some comments on some of my videos that maybe I'm doing something backward. and I'd like to figure that out. So next Wednesday, please, if you know anything at all about knitting, if you could tune in and help a girl out, I would appreciate that. And I appreciate every time you tune into my videos. I appreciate just you being here and commenting and just spending some of your day with me. I really do. It's fantastic. It's fantastic having fiber friends, really. Those are my works in progress. I am not 100% sure right now what I am taking on vacation with me. That's something I will be figuring out tonight, I think. As I move forward with the packing process, I'm starting to feel the pressure and stress of that. I believe I will take 2 projects for my mother because she's coming with us. Always helps to have your model handy when you're custom making a garment. So I am probably going to take the cardigan that I'm making for her, and she has requested a shawl. So she picked out yarn for that yesterday, and so I will probably be taking those 2 projects with me. I also want to make sure that I don't take any gifts for the people that are going along with me. So I just have to look at those projects and see see what is most urgent, I guess is the best way to put that. I will have a lot of stitching time, I think. We have we're driving, so we have a very long car ride. I think about 12 hours in the car each way. And yeah, we have a really nice holiday house with a pool. And so I think it's going to try to be a sort of relaxing hang out with the family, and I think I should get lots of time to work while traveling. So I may take a lot of projects, but I do also tend to overpack my projects. Do you do that? I am overly optimistic. With most things, I'm totally realistic, but when it comes to packing, I'm sort of over-prepared and overly optimistic most of the time, unless I pack at the last minute, and then I seem to have nothing. I went away with my daughter in the summer for a couple of days. I didn't have a hairbrush. I didn't have deodorant. I didn't have underwear. I got to the hotel and I'm like, let's go shopping. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, I have a lot of acquisitions, kind of unexpectedly, not all yarn, but lots of yarn. And I went to IKEA. I have some nice hand-dyed hanks, and they're sort of shoved in the cabinet that's directly behind you right now. And there are glass doors on it and I can kind of see them, but I tend not to think of them because they're just sort of piled on each other and I just feel like I don't see them very well. So I thought I could put them on this wall behind me and then I would be able to see them and think more about working with them. Plus they're beautiful, and I like yarn more than most art. So I thought, okay, I'll put it on my wall and have them displayed. So I got 2 of them. One I'll put here where this mirror is. The mirror is going to get relocated, and the other one will go here beside the door. So maybe you can see them and enjoy them too. Then I had to spend some credit at Temu. I had a lot. I had like a lot of credit, and you know, there's always like, you get this, but you have to like place it in 8 orders and over. It's kind of crazy, but I usually feel like, well, no, a lot of the things are worth it to play and some of them aren't. But I played and I think I got like 70 euros worth of free stuff. That's not insignificant. And I bought a lot of like undershirts and stuff for my boys. But I also got a few like yarn crafty related things. The first I got, this is called a Galaxy cake. And it's silver tones. It's got a lot of sparkle. This low light is good for showing the sparkle at least. And yeah, so this is called a Galaxy cake. This is the yarn information that's on the ball band. It says string, and it kind of feels like that. It has a ropey texture to it. It is not at all what I was expecting, as sometimes happens with Temu yarn. But it does have a very ropey feel to it. It is chainette construction, and it does have a lot of glitter and glamour in it. And that also contributes to the ropey feel, because you can really feel the sparkle string. But the actual string itself, like the yarn itself, has a ropey texture to it. And it's 30% cotton, 37% polyester with 33% silver thread. It's 200 grams, and they don't say anything about meterage. It says healthy and environmentally friendly dyeing. So take that as you will. Doesn't sort of elaborate on that. It is hand wash, lie flat to dry, according to the package. I had been thinking sort of shawl, and now I'm thinking more like, basket, bag, maybe a little handbag would be nice from it, because I don't want to wear it. It's got that much sort of grip to it. So it really feels like rope. That's what, so it came in a bag, which I'm going to just put over there because it's crinkly. And but it also came in a box, which is interesting. And it does have the EU rep sign off on it. So on the box, it says it's a Galaxy gradient yarn, 30% cotton, 33% rayon, 37% polyester. It also says, do not bleach in machine wash dark colors separately. So there it is saying you can wash it on the delicate cycle. It also on the box says dryer, but on the band it says hand wash, no dry. So, okay. Interesting. But I will either make a handbag or a little basket with it, because it sort of has that texture to my mind. So that's one of the things that came yesterday with the rest of my yarn for my sweater. This is something else that I got from Temu. I think I paid €2.35 for it. It is technically for a diaper bag for your soiled clothes. You know, when you have a baby, sometimes things expand beyond the wearable that is there to contain those things. And the clothes get wet or soiled in some way. And then they have these bags that you keep inside your diaper bag that are waterproof and washable in that. And I thought that would be good for a project bag. It's a good size, so I could easily keep my cake in it and the project as it was working up. And there's a front pocket too that I can keep the notions, my little notions pouch in. I know a lot of people do not like a zipper on their project bag, but I do. And I don't like using like a canvas tote or that for my projects, because a lot of the times, like I have my bag on the floor, or I've got a lot of kids and a lot of animals. There are a lot of puddles. There just are a lot of puddles, and I no longer play the game of what is this puddle? I just clean it up. I don't even want to know. But I don't want the puddles on my yarn. So I'm always looking for waterproof project bags. I'm like on this hunt to find the best project bag solution. And I let me tell you, I am trying all kinds of things. Right now I have Mom's Sweater Project in what is like a shopping cart, but it's insulated, so it's waterproof. And I don't know, friends. I'm still looking. So I thought for €2.35, this is a snap. So I can like hang it on my handbag, like at the strap of my handbag, because it doesn't have a strap where I could put it over my shoulder. But I could do that with it. Or if I'm carrying a large bag, because, you know, I've got extra diapers and change of clothes and Capri Sun and whatever else when I'm out with the boys, but I still want to have a project, you know, and in case of emergency project, it can fit in a larger tote as well and still protect the project so that, you know, Capri Sun is getting on it and, you know, nothing else is snagging it or pulling at it or that. So that is why I got that. I'll tell you how it works out. This is my quest to find what is the perfect project bag. And I think everybody is on that quest. I also think the perfect project bag varies according to project too. It's one I thought I'd give a try. It was reasonably priced enough that I thought I would try that. And then this yarn has a story, and it's a good one. This is a couple of weeks ago, I ordered from a yarn company I had never ordered from before called Edna. And I ordered mostly Yarbos Select and Savarta Ferret. I know I don't say that right. I've tried to understand the correction, but I don't know. It just doesn't come out right. But you'll bear with me, I think. And most of the yarn I was very pleased with, met my expectations or more, except there was the Yarbrough Select, I think it was number 2 recycled cashmere. And I was so disappointed with that yarn. The regular price of that yarn is €18 per 50 gram donut skein. I think I paid $7.50 because it was, the reason I bought is they had this huge up to 70% off special. And I thought this is my chance to order this yarn, because I'm just not in a category where I'm going to be buying, you know, €18 50 gram hanks. It's just not the reality of my stage of life or my socioeconomic condition. But I could splurge $7.50 to try it and to make, say, a nice cashmere scarf like the one I'm wearing that I also made. But this is Timu cashmere. I have a review of it if you're interested. It was so rough and scratchy. It was so rough and scratchy. Even my husband, who like is not a texture person, picked it up and went, "Oh, that's rough." That's exactly what he said, of cashmere. I was so disappointed. And that was clear on the video because I unboxed it there and you got my true impression. And you know what? Somebody said in the comments, yeah, I didn't buy that yarn because of the reviews. And I was like, I didn't even look at the reviews. I was just so excited about the idea that I was going to get to try this, you know, high-end brand cashmere. And I thought, I got an automated email asking me to review the yarn that I purchased. And I thought, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just write how disappointed I was with the texture of this yarn for the price point. And I think the title I put was Choose Something Else. Something along those lines. It was in German. So, and I posted the review and didn't think about it after that, just sort of moved on with life. About 3 days later, I got an email from Edna that they had posted my review, but they were sorry that I was disappointed. And could they make it up to me by exchanging that yarn for 3 skeins of a yarn that I did like, which was the Yarbo Select number 3. You see that there? And I had already bought 4 skeins of this yarn. And it is a yak blend with silk and baby alpaca. And it's lovely. It's black, so that is actually black. It's not just bad lighting. And I had 4 skeins of it. And I thought with 3 more, I could probably knit a fairly basic, like tank, maybe a boat net tank, where I could get a really staple wardrobe piece. And I thought, okay, that's great. So I wrote back and was, yes, thank you. I would love to do that. And so she said, okay, just tell me what color. And so I told her what color. And I also said, I already have 4. And this was the dye lot and it came from you recently. Is it possible to get the same dye lot? And she said, if we have it, I'll make sure it's the same. And it is. So now I have 7 skeins, which I think should be enough because it is so dark here and it's such small print. Yeah, it's 183 meters per hank. So I think for just sort of a very basic sort of shell piece, that should be enough if I knit it. So I was super impressed. And then she said, you know, it will be sent out today. And I had it like there was sort of one day in between and then I had it the morning after. I was really impressed. And so I wrote back and I said, how do I send the cashmere back to you? Because that was the initial agreement, is that I would send the cashmere back and they would send me this. And she just said, don't worry about it. Maybe you're still able to use it for a project. And so, I still have the cashmere. I was really impressed with that customer service. Like, I had not written to them. I had not complained. I had not tried to send it back, but they are paying attention to what their customers are saying and, you know, taking initiative. I was really impressed. Like,
this is a company I will continue to do business with. I will order from them. If you are able to order from them, I certainly encourage you to, because that kind of customer service just can't be beat. And so the yarns that I did like, I made sure I went back and reviewed those as well, just so that I wasn't just a negative Nelly. But I was really impressed by that. So that is why I have that acquisition. And more things that I got from Temu. These are my only set of stick knitting needles. And I've been doing at least a little bit of knitting every day just to try and develop that skill and get used to it, get comfortable with it. But I either have to use that or my interchangeables, and I haven't learned how to circular knit at the moment. So I kind of find the cord and that going back and forth. My cords get loose. And so my stitches get caught when the cord gets loose. And anyway, I just decided that for €3, oh, I don't know. It was just under €4, I think. I would get a set of stick needles. I mean, they're very basic, but these ones I liked because they were color coded. It's getting very dark. I'm so sorry. It's just, I can't do anything about the weather. And they have, can you see that there? They have the size, and it is actually molded in the plastic. It's not just printed on. Oops. I like that they seem to have a pretty good point. So I thought that was a good deal for that. And mostly it's just to practice on. So I'm getting quite a collection of knitting needles. I have 2 sets of interchangeables, a metal one and a wooden one. And now sort of a set of stick needles. And the very first things that I bought, thinking I was like buying this, but what I actually ended up buying were double pointed. So I think they're for socks because they came with 4 or 5 needles per. And I had been using those as other sets of stick needles when I wanted to work with different yarn, and my square project was on the other, on the gray ones that I had, and I just put needle stoppers on one end so I could use. Anyway, now I have a set of stick needles. The other non-yarn thing that I acquired is this cute little notebook. Again, it was around €3, and it's just a notebook, but I wanted to start keeping a project notebook where I write down like what the project is, who it's for, what pattern I'm using, or I can, I like to chart when I'm making up my own patterns for my shawls or that. I like to just jot the chart down as I'm working. And particularly needle size, I have been losing my hooks from my projects like crazy lately. I mean, I've always done that, just hooked my hook in and left it with the project. And lately, I'm losing them, and it would be really helpful to have that information written somewhere. So that's why I got this, is to just see how that system sort of works for me. And I just thought it was so cute. Like the yarn. 2 more Temu yarns. Sorry, rattle, rattle, rattle. I have seen this silk on Temu so much.
And I really like silk. I really, really like working with silk. But for the longest time, the silk that would show up for me on Temu always had these sort of, I want to say juvenile sequins. And I don't mean that in a pejorative sense. I just mean that it had a young vibe to it. And then I saw these started to come up. I have some other silk from Temu that I really, really like. And this brand keeps showing up from different vendors. And I thought, I'm going to try that. And I should have realized that 1,800 meters in 300 grams was going to be thread. It's thread, which is okay. It feels gorgeous. Like, that is just pure silk. But I mean, you can see just how thin that is. It's literally thread. I'm like, my mom was here when it came and I showed it to her and she's like, but you don't have a serger. I'm like, no, it's actually to crochet or knit with. It is fine, but I won't work with it as a single strand. I will probably get 2 more cones and hold 3 threads together, just like I would if I was working from a bobble, and make a little top out of it. I think it will be lovely and it will feel wonderful. And I think this is just a really, really pretty color. It's a really pretty color. So that is that. Also from Temu, like I said, I had money, credit money to spend there. This is one of their supposedly 100% merino yarns. If you shop on Temu, you've probably seen this on the balls, this little sheepy guy. This is disappointing. It feels... It's not the most rustic wool I've ever held, but I was hoping to... I actually wanted to order 2 packages of this green because it's a gorgeous green color. That is my favorite color, and a color I really like to wear. You might have noticed I often am wearing a green dress, and you might think, Ellen, do you not have another dress? There are actually 4 different green dresses. So I'm not actually wearing the same dress all the time. I just have that many that look alike. So I wanted to make myself a sweater, but with the claiming of the credit, you can only buy 1 of an item. So I couldn't get 2 packages because I wanted 20 balls because I was just going to do a crocheted cardigan. I'm kind of glad that I couldn't get 2 packages. I don't know what I will make with it now. I mean, it's not bad. I am pretty convinced that it's not even 100% wool. It does not say that. It says 100% merino wool on the listing, but on the bag, it doesn't say it anywhere. And it does have the EU responsible persons sticker on it. And I have a feeling that they were not able to put that information on it because it was found to be inaccurate. I will do a review of it where I do the burn test. We see what's in it. But at this point, I'm very skeptical that it's 100% wool. And if it is 100% wool, I am pretty sure it is not merino. It's got just way more scratch than I would expect in a merino. Anyway, it's a little more rustic. I will see if blocking, washing does anything to soften it up. And just see if that has any effect on it as well. But anyway, that will come in a future review. And the last acquisition, I know it's acquisition heavy this week. My monthly subscription to Arcane Fiber Arts came. And this is Moss Light Mist. It is just beautiful. I do the Mystery Skein subscription with Arcane Fiberworks because I love everything they do. Like, they don't have a bad colorway, and when I like multiple things, it is so hard for me to choose. And because it is so hard for me to choose, I like the idea of doing the Mystery Skein. I know that I'm going to love it because I love everything that comes from Arcane Fiberworks, and I love the base. It's, you know, going from holding that merino to this merino, it's like night and day. I would wrap a baby in this. I wouldn't let my baby crawl around on that one. So it's just lovely. I get the fingering weight, and so I get, they're 100 grams skeins for 400 meters in the fingering sock. It is 80% merino and 20% nylon superwash, and I'm just loving this subscription. This is only my second month, and we get hit by, the taxes are not the problem. I expect to pay tax on stuff, and it's minimal. Like, I expect to pay tax. But they charge such a high fee to, like, collect that tax and deliver it, that it's almost, it's more than half the cost of the hank. So I have switched my subscription. Arcane Fiberworks is in Canada. Mom lives in Canada. So I've switched my subscription to her house. So I'm only going to get my subscription about twice a year, but it's going to be like Christmas comes twice a year. And I'll try to avoid seeing the monthly mystery in the months in between when I'm not getting it. I think that was the most convoluted way of saying twice a year I'm going to get my monthly subscriptions when Mom comes to visit. But I felt that was a better trade-off, because it was either cancel my subscription because I can't afford to pay 40 euros for a hank of yarn every month, but or only get it in bulk, so to speak. So that's it's gorgeous, isn't it? Okay, friends, that is everything. I thought it was going to be a short little episode, but you know me, I can talk and talk and talk, even sounding like a frog. So thank you for joining me today. If you are not subscribed, please go ahead and do that. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help the channel. If you feel like it, give me a thumbs up there. And if you have any comments, let's chat. Love to chat. And until next time, friends, happy stitching.